Welcome to our service. We're glad to have you here today, joining us in this wonderful day. We just heard some great music from Jacqueline. We get to hear this marvelous cello again in just a few moments. And I will light us up. My name is Jim Quacco. I'm pleased to welcome you to our Sunday service, loving spirit and wisdom of unity. We light the candle to remind us that we are the light of the world. We are the light of God. We are connected to the light of God. Our hearts are connected to the heart of God. Our mind to the mind of God. Our bodies to the body of God. Let us affirm this. I am the light of the world this day. Together, I am the light of the world today. To create our oneness in vibration, I will sound the chime. May the sound, the word of life, resonate through us as we express ourselves and add to the goodness that is present. The daily word for today is kindness. I flow with divine love as I give and receive kindness. The word kindness triggers feelings of warmth, connection, and love through the heart. I smile as I recall ways that friends, family members, and others have shown me loving kindness. I feel again the gratitude and blessing I experienced in these special moments. Gratitude, love, and a beautiful awareness of connection fill my heart and mind in a remarkably similar way when I remember kindnesses that I've shared. The movement of electrons through a wire creates a current, a flow. As kindness moves from person to person, from soul to soul, it creates a flow of divine love. Giving and receiving are essential to this current of love. So I look for opportunities to share acts of kindness. I welcome with a grateful heart the kindness others share with me. And from the book of Micah, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God? And with your God to me means everyone we meet in all the different marvelous expressions in nature, the grass, the trees, the bushes, the flowers, and our companion pets. Kindness, one of the real gifts of being a caregiver is hearing people's stories of difficulty, turmoil, problems, and the desire to relieve that. And it impels, it compels reaching for, finding kindness. I'm deeply grateful for this opportunity. Recently, I've had an experience to have to draw upon this for myself. I was involved in a car accident and felt the remorse of participating in this and the suffering it may have caused me and others. But in any event, quite aware of the fact that if this is energized excessively, it leads to despondency, depression, and poor feelings, often of separation. Fortunately, my request for help brought great support from family, friends, experts, to handle such things, and I was led to sources of support I deeply appreciate. Very reassuring. Kindness is helping to heal me and those involved through this, and I'm deeply grateful. It's a major part of my life. In many ways, this is the spirit of unity. And just this morning, I found out that one of our family members here of Unity, Mary Jo McGrath's daughter, had surgery yesterday. And so please include her daughter in your prayers so that she heals rapidly and completely. May the strength of kindness be with all of us today. And now let us enjoy Jacqueline playing this lovely music.
Thank you, Jacqueline and Noreen. Oh my gosh. Divine therapy, yes? My gosh, thank you. It's the healing of the soul. Music is really amazing, isn't it? I thank you for sharing your ministry with us. It's really amazing. So we are so blessed just to show up for such majesty, which is the gifts of one another. And we can see how, as people share their gifts, we're all blessed automatically. So, a man and his son were going with their donkey to market. Their intention was to be with the donkey, to get their goods, and to come back home. As they were walking along the road, a countryman passed them and said, "You fools, what is a donkey for but to ride upon?" So the man put the boy on the donkey, and they went on their way. But soon they passed a group of men, and one of the men said, "See that lazy youngster? He lets his father walk while he rides." So the man ordered his boy to get off and got on himself. But they hadn't gone far when they passed two women, one of whom said to the other, "Shame on that lazy lout to let his little son trudge along." Well, the man didn't know what to do. But at last, he took his boy up beside him on the donkey, and they're both now riding on the donkey. By the time they got to the town, the passerbys were jeering and pointing at them. The man stopped and asked what they were scoffing about. And the men said, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself for overloading that poor donkey of yours, you and your bulky son?" So the man and the son get off the donkey, and they're just standing there in town. And they don't know what to do, because clearly the intention they had for the day was completely not in their minds anymore. And they stood there and they thought, and the man and the son were seen leaving the town carrying the donkey. A lot of wisdom in these stories, in these fables. And I don't know if you have a donkey. I don't know if you've been going to market with your donkey, but and we look at this symbolically, there's so much wisdom. And there's a lot of humor, too. But if we start to unpack this story, we see that what really mainly happened is that the father and their son never even did what they intended to do at all. And they did not live with spiritual principles, spiritual knowing, certainly not the 4 agreements about which we are talking this month. And we can see how easily it is to make the opinions of others become our truth. Someone saying you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, all of a sudden we're not doing that thing that we were very comfortable doing before we believed this opinion. And we have to know that the opinion of anyone came from their experience, right? Their experience with maybe they'd had an overburdened donkey, or maybe there was a feeling of the son, our children aren't being kind to us, or the feeling of I should be riding the donkey, I'm an older person, however it is. But you see, all these opinions really affected these people, and so much that they weren't even living their truth. They weren't even living their goal. And I wonder how many times this happens to us. We were talking last week about our unity principles. We have 5 of them, and we were looking at the first one, which is there's one power and one presence active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Yeah, that's the idea these people are going to market. They're clear about that until they forget about that one presence, and all of a sudden the opinions of others seem to have a greater presence than my knowing. And so we're looking at the second principle of unity today as we start also the 4 agreements. And that agreement is, or that principle is, that our essence is of God. Jim said it's so beautiful. We're the body, we're the essence, we are the hands, we are the mind of God. Therefore, we are inherently good. This God essence was fully expressed in Jesus the Christ. And what we know here at Unity, that Jesus was not the exception, Jesus was the example. That's what's so empowering about the teaching, is that it's Christ consciousness. It's not a person that had consciousness, it is the consciousness that's in all of us. And that's the consciousness, that's the power, that is the truth that sets you free. But we are wanting to remember that, we're wanting to live it, we're wanting to learn it, and we're wanting to be kind as we are learning it. Because this can also be a time where, I start having a little enlightenment about who I am, and then, boy, are you wrong, or boy, are you not enlightened, right? And we're about to enter this time of family and obligations, and all of the times we can go, gosh, I seem to have evolved a little, and the rest of my family maybe not so much. And so we can find ourselves getting into a sense of, again, judgment, even on our spiritual path. So we want to learn, and these 4 agreements have just as much to do with your own clarity as your clarity about others, and with a sense of kindness and compassion. So the 4 agreements, it's a code of conduct, but even more true, it's a sense of being free. It's a feeling of being free. It's a feeling of owning what is true about you. So here are our 4 agreements, and we can say them together because it's great to remember them. That we are, okay, we can just start with number 1, be impeccable with your word. And number 2, don't take anything personally. And number 3, don't make assumptions. And 4, always do your best. And we can just take a breath into that. Yes, because this is a journey. We are works in progress, but we are inherently God and inherently good. So how do we bring the place of perhaps not doing it exactly as we want to do it, and knowing that there is inherent good in us? I think that's the most fun of when you see babies and children. There is this light. There's a curiosity. There's often not the story of the past. I know the younger a person is, when you talk to them about, often, what did you do yesterday? They don't know, right? I often, when I'm talking with my nieces and nephews when they were younger, I'd always just say, what did you have to eat for lunch? Right? That was, they are very current. They're very in the moment. Yesterday, there's already been 1,000 wonderful things that happened today. Why would I think about yesterday? And so that's our opportunity, is to have this life in a light way. So if we go back to the man and the son and the donkey. All right, let's see if we can look at some of the quotes from the 4 agreements and see if you can connect to these stories of how we can lose our way. He talks about making assumptions. This is our 3rd agreement we're talking about today, is don't make assumptions. And so, you see if you can relate to this. We make assumptions. We misunderstand. We take it personally. And we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. It is a fascinating, Jim, you can relate. It's just the 2 of us. Yes, all right. But we can see how what Miguel Ruiz, Don Miguel Ruiz says is that we have become domesticated, and that we live in a fog. The best thing that you could have been told your whole life is that the world is your oyster. Just follow your heart, believe in your dreams, live from your inspiration, follow your bliss. But most families were trying to survive, right? So people were worried about money, and they were worried about time, and in my family they were worried about me. But people are there. There's a minimalization of you rather than an expansive experience. And then you have a particular religion, and then you have a particular school, and you have a particular neighborhood, and maybe a particular religion. This is what I thought was so wonderful about having time in Europe, is in general they're exposed. We have a French woman here, exposed to so many different religions maybe, but languages. And so there's a constant opening of the mind. And I know when I moved to Italy at 29 and was trying to learn Italian, I was like, that one line I learned was, oh, una testa dura, which means I have a hard head. Yeah, we got some Italians out here. But the idea was that we are, so trained in a kind of the box of who we are, rather than this experience of what happens when we start looking at these 4 agreements and this wisdom that sets us free. So another quote about making assumptions, and I'm just going to see if you guys relate to this, and then we'll talk about some solutions, is we only see what we want to see, hear what we want to hear. We don't perceive things the way they are. All right, and I would like you just to reflect. I was reflecting on, my mom came to visit me when I was in Fort Lauderdale, and she was in the other room. I had a guest room, and one morning she came out of the room and she said, "Heidi, your fax machine is plugged in and it's on, and Blanche," this is her best friend, now she's 88, so Blanche told me, because Blanche is the knower of all things, that you should not leave your fax machine plugged in, because it's not good for it. Now, in my way of making an assumption that my mom knows very little about what I do in my apartment, and I know everything, see, that assumption would not have been one that set either of us free. So I took a breath, because I try to practice these principles, and I just looked at my mom and I said, "Mom, I'm so glad you told me that. You may want to look around at all the other electronic devices I have in my house and check them out. Maybe you should unplug everything." And she looked at me for a minute, and then we just started laughing, right? Because her intention, I know was loving. But was I taking it that way? No, I was sort of like, why is she looking at all this stuff? Who, my fax machine, who asked her to come in and make comments about what I do in my house, right? But what I recognized was that it was really her caring about, I don't know, my electric bill, whatever she thought was going to happen. But the idea that I could see that rather than need to fight her with my sense of taking it personally, making an assumption, and the first one, being impeccable with my word. I've had times where I was like, just grumpy at people, right? But when I am, I realize I'm not following the 4 agreements. I'm not following unity principles. I am lost in the fog. I'm lost in the I'm right and you're wrong. And I will tell you, friends, it's never created peace, ever. What creates peace is my understanding that often I don't understand. My understanding that I'm lost in some kind of fog of needing to be right. Really? What I really want to do is have a nice relationship with my mom. That's what I want. Do I care about a fax machine? Not really. Yeah? But you can see how we can get so lost in these stories. All right, and this is what happened to the man and the son and the donkey. We're working on communicating that the idea that someone says something and then we feel like we should be doing what someone else says. And the reason that we do is because when we were domesticated, part of the fog is, if I change me, maybe you'll love me more. Anybody ever done that one? If I change me, maybe you'll love me more. That is a complete recipe for resentment, yes? Because you can change you for a little while, but then you recognize this idea of being impeccable with your word to yourself. If I like broccoli and everyone in my house hates broccoli, and so I quit eating broccoli, and then I'm missing broccoli, and then who am I mad at? Everybody in the house. But what could I have done differently? I like broccoli, you don't? We'll have a bigger table. We'll have broccoli over here, and you all have everything else over there, right? There's this place of honoring who you are and honoring who other people are. This is an interesting time of being able to just affirm, I honor my choices and I honor the choices of others. So there's an affirmation. I honor my choices. And I honor the choices of others. Isn't that a freedom? Isn't that a sense of, I may actually get to the market and get what I need? But we can see when we continue to shift who we are for others, nobody wins. And it is, again, not making anyone else wrong. All right, so I'm loving Don Miguel Ruiz. I've actually met his children, And I'm in touch with the people that are in touch with them because they both came to Chicago. It's Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. and Don Jose. And I will tell you, I always think, how do people grow up when they have a dad that writes a book like this? Right? You know, I'm curious, right? Because you would think pretty free people. And I will tell you, these are the kindest, egoless people. Truly, and it was a fascinating experience to meet them and to be with them because this allows us to be in that sense of not needing to have the world affect us, but to be the effect in the world. So the dad, Don Miguel Ruiz, had a series with Oprah, and I've been showing a clip every week, and I'm going to show another one about don't make assumptions. And here we go.
My favorite agreement is don't make assumptions because it allows me to hear people, to be more present, and to not take things where they're not supposed to be. So I can be more in the moment than be in my head.
Your mind starts thinking about all these things and reasons someone did something, and then you take it among yourself and you create this whole little false drama about what it is.
I do believe that all the drama and the sadness that we create, and I've done it too, is because I've made assumptions about someone else. That I think the not making assumptions and taking things personally definitely go hand in hand, because when you start one, the other one follows, and it's like a domino effect.
Don't make assumptions. Whoa, boy. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. We make the assumption that everybody sees life the way we do. Oh my goodness, how many times have I been in conversations with people and I say, that's your point of view. You're assuming that everybody thinks like you.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest ones, isn't it?
Yes, and that really comes from knowledge.
Yes.
When we was born, we have no knowledge. Then society captured our attention, and it teaches the language we speak, the religion that we follow, etc., etc. Then once that we have knowledge, something extraordinary happened when we are maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. And what happened is that knowledge starts speaking in our head with a voice that no one can hear but us. And that voice of knowledge is really made by assumptions. It's assuming almost everything. Then when I say don't make assumptions, it's just a way to try to control the best we can all those thoughts. If we go deeper, like we said a little before, if we find a place in between thoughts, that inner silence, then we will see that we really can control also thoughts, and we can create that silence inside of us.
You say on page 64, all the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Everything revolves around either one or two of those, right?
Yes.
Taking it personally or assuming somebody is thinking the way that you do. I think women make this mistake a lot in relationships, all kinds of relationships, particularly with their spouses and boyfriends and all that, is that you think that person should know how you feel or what you're thinking. You think that person should know because they love you, they care about you, they know. Isn't that a huge one that people make all the time?
Yes, it's happened all the time, all around the world. And we cannot read minds, really.
So not making assumptions.
Yes, all the sadness and drama you've lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. It's a big one, isn't it? And it is something that what we're practicing right now, and certainly going into the end of this year with all of the busyness and all the obligations and the ways we can take things personally, the ways we can make assumptions, is to start to notice the drama that is created by these ideas of taking things personally, making assumptions, and also needing to change other people. If we go further in this chapter, he talks about relationships, and he says that when you get in a relationship, if there's something you don't like about someone, you may actually say, my love will change this person. My love will change this person. Have you thought of this? How successful have you been at this? Right? Because he goes on to say, and this is, of course, exactly what Jesus was teaching, and any of our master teachers says that real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. without trying to change them. And because if we try to change them, that means we really don't like them. And so this is this is why you came today, this line. Find someone who you don't have to change at all. Find someone who you don't have to change at all, right? I wonder how different our life would be, your life would be, if there was not the drama of taking things personally and making assumptions. And when I first got sober 36 years ago, I had to get used to serenity. I didn't have much serenity. I thought that was life. It was just drama and problems and what did I do last night? And oh, well, who cares, right? And friends and problems and car wrecks and that was my life. So when I stopped drinking, the drama pretty much went away. And I had to go, is this boring? Is this, am I living my life without drama? And I started to enjoy it. It was nice to remember what I did. It was nice to not have arrests and people. And, I actually was pulled over not too long ago, and I knew because I went through a stop sign. You guys don't have, lights that go on your stop signs, so whatever. I won't go into that. And somebody pulled me, a very nice police officer pulled me over, and I knew one thing was for sure. I wasn't going to get arrested for drinking and driving. Nope, wasn't going to happen. I knew that there wasn't going to be any story about operating a vehicle under the influence, because this is an agreement I've made, and it's an interesting thing to come from this place of power within you. And drama really is optional. It really is optional, and it is interesting to see how addicted to drama we can be. So 2 things that you will accomplish when you live this third agreement, and all 4 agreements, is that your relationships will improve for sure. And the other thing that will happen is that the dreams that have been covered up by all the drama, see, the thing with drama is it blocks your creativity. It blocks your sense of, I'd like to try this, I'd like to go there, I'd like to create this. And so the value of not needing to live in this sense of drama that's taught. And the people you call, the minute you call them, have you read this, have you heard this, did you watch the news lately? You can feel it. And so the opportunity to say, you know what? Let's talk about what we love. Let's talk about something you enjoy today. I have a friend, I call him, we say, let's think 3 things we're grateful for today. And it shifts our whole conversation, how to do this. So I just want to look at 2 people when we're talking about dreams, 2 guys in 1903. Their names were Orville and Wilbur. Yeah, I'm sorry about those names, but it was 1903. And the idea, though, because they stayed so focused on their creativity, they tried a lot of things. They had supportive parents somewhat, but their parents were very religious, and so they didn't know about this flying thing. But because they stayed out of drama and stayed focused on creativity, they were able to create the first flying machine. And what's fascinating about that is that the birds were always able to fly. The mechanics of flying were always there, but someone's mind had to be open enough to allow it to come through. And that's why we're here with these 4 agreements. That's why we're talking about this, because you are here. You're the spark of God. You're the consciousness of the Christness. And that energy creates a world that works for all. But we can see how important it is for us to get out of the addiction of the drama, the addiction of the challenges, the addiction of feeling, as we can say, I'm sick and tired, blank, blank, blank. That opportunity to release drama is right here and right now. And this opportunity to say, I am clear about my choices and I honor the choices you make. I know it's a little different than when I started because now it's 5 minutes later than when I said it, but let's do this. I am clear about my choices. Let's say that. I am clear about my choices and I honor the choices you make. I honor the choices you make. And in that way, we empower ourselves and we also empower those around us. And I'd invite us to practice this in every breath and every thought, and especially at this time, because my family has transformed because I've transformed, right? That's how it works. A friend of mine today just told me about the serenity prayer that he thought was rather humorous. It's written differently. God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the ones I can, and to know that one is me. Yeah? All right? So we can say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the ones I can, and to know that one is me. And I tell you, I am so excited to see what will happen in your lives, in the life of Unity of Santa Barbara. We're going through a very, very different time with most of our community in a camera. But to recognize that through this idea of making for agreements and allowing our minds to be open, our creativity and our solutions are limitless. So let us be in that consciousness, the truth that sets us free. I'm going to read Don Miguel to close today. It's at the end of the third agreement, and he talks about this Toltec wisdom, this wisdom that we're talking about that gives us this freedom. When you transform your whole dream, magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. This is the mastery of intent, the mastery of spirit, the mastery of love, the mastery of gratitude, and the mastery of life. This is the goal of the Toltec. It is the goal of the Christ consciousness. And this is the path to personal freedom. And so it is. Amen. Yay, you all. And thank you for being online. So let's be in this consciousness, this conversation of being that free of any story of the past, of any drama that somehow we've become interested in, but not so much anymore. The relationships that we want to create, the dreams that we want to live. And so we allow ourselves to get comfortable wherever we're sitting, whether it's in the sanctuary or at home, to give yourself the gift of you. Give yourself a moment of rest and reflection and revitalization. In this moment, I have everything I need. I have a beautiful heart that beats and blood that flows and cells that regenerate. I am a living organism. There's nothing stagnant about my life. So I let go of any feeling of stagnant or heavy. Jesus reminded us to come with the heavy burden and we'd be refreshed. So let us just recognize that we're refreshed in every breath. We know that any opinion of anyone else comes from their history, their background, which has nothing to do with us, except for that we care about how they see the world for their own insights. And we are the hands and the feet and the voice and the energy of God expressing uniquely and divinely as you. You will never come again. So it is our spiritual responsibility to live our Christ consciousness, our Buddha nature, the Toltec wisdom. And we don't have to do anything. We just breathe and we allow. And we let ourselves be very kind to ourselves as the little child that we once were and that stays very alive in our heart. So let us be in this sacred silence, listening to the still small voice, the light of the world. I am free. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. And I commit to that truth. I anchor this time with my beloved family and friends. And I let myself walk upright with a sense of confidence about the uniqueness of who I am. And by shining that light, I ignite the light in others. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Now is our time of offering. This is our time of offering. Thank you for your generosity and support of Unity of Santa Barbara. There are many ways of supporting us here. For all of you on Facebook, thanks for giving and the new donate button. You can also donate through Givelify app, which you can download separately and can sign up for recurring giving, connecting us to the law of circulation. If you haven't downloaded the Givelify app, please go to the office table by the bookstore. Someone will show you. Maybe it's better that way. So automatic, isn't it? On our website, santabarbaraunity.org, you can click Donate at the top, which will take you to the Givelify program. Here in the sanctuary, of course, there's boxes as you walk out the side doors here. We have now launched our Blessings Registry campaign, which you'll find out a little bit more in a few minutes. Our major fundraiser of the year. At this time, let us consider the good that we receive. Wonderful insights from Reverend Heidi. Marvelous comments about how to decrease the instincts of assumptions and instead use that as reminders of connecting to our inner wisdom. The wonderful music that we hear, our guest Jacqueline with the cello and Noreen continuously blessing us with her lovely music and lovely skill at connecting us to the harmony of music. We know it's connects us in some ways to spirit that other elements don't. Words, reading, thinking, somehow it takes us there quickly in marvelous ways. So consider very briefly the value of being on the spiritual path, the value of learning how to pray, how to connect to spirit, how to activate the perspective of spirit with the challenges that we face. And this is what we gain by being part of this. What does the soul want us to learn and how to listen to it further? So let us bless this gift that we have, that we offer, that is available for us to share with this spiritual community. Hold the gift in your hand, in your heart, and at this time say these words together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. Thank you.
Spacious skies for sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Jacqueline and Noreen. Beautiful. Don't you think after that we're going to go out and just treat everybody so well because we have so much peace in our heart? Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so a few announcements. It's very exciting, this announcement experience, this announcement time. Did you all like America the Beautiful with Karen Taylor Good and Stowe Good? Yes, yes, yes. All right. Well, those two wonderful women are going to be in concert virtually with us next Sunday at 4 p.m. And I hope you'll all buy a ticket and have some folks over to your home and watch their music. Makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it opens your heart. And this is really what we need right now, in addition to they're just incredible union, these two gals. So it's Stowe Daly and Karen Taylor Good, and they are Stowe Good, as they say. And there's a quick video of talking about the concert next Sunday.
Hello, beautiful human. I'm Stowe Daly.
And I'm Karen Taylor Good.
Together, we are Stowe Good.
Stowe, tell me this. Are you an FOH?
I don't know.
That would be friend of Heidi.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We've had some amazing adventures with you, Heidi.
Yes, we have. And we know that there are others of you wonderful members of the FOHers. So Heidi has actually invited us to do a Zoom concert for you.
Woohoo.
And we can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be November 22nd, 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central.
That's right. That's on a Sunday, late afternoon. We are going to have a big time. And we can't wait to see you. And you can read all the pertinent details about it either underneath or over to this side or possibly
over here
or up above.
there. Who knows? The one thing we do know is that we're going to be making music just for you. We've got some healing songs, we've got some funny songs, and we're just going to just kick our shoes off and have some fun.
Yes, and you won't even have to wear your tuxes or long gowns.
Right.
Unless you want to.
See you Sunday, November 22nd.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, and we have another video that they made. But the point is that we're selling tickets here today. I think it's $20 to get to per person, and then you can buy them online also. But it is a beautiful way to raise money for Unity in Santa Barbara, but also to support these two beautiful people in their music ministry. So let me carry on here. We continue to meet on Wednesday night. We have a Wednesday night service at 7 p.m. that we just started. It's online, and we'll talk about the second two agreements, 3 and 4. We had a wonderful, I think we had about 16 on Wednesday nights, so come and join us. It's a wonderful conversation. Terry Wilder is with us, so we have some gonging at the end. So I invite you to definitely come online with your pajamas on, because after the gonging, you can just drift to sleep, and it's a beautiful way to come together in the middle of the week and talk about how we can live these agreements. We're also, the next Wednesday is Thanksgiving Eve, and we're going to have a service here in the sanctuary and online. And Terry Wilder is coming in town from San Diego, so we will be gonging, and we will be talking about gratitude. And we will probably light the flames of faith as we celebrate all the different faiths as we're in our time of gratitude. It's not just Thanksgiving, it's giving thanks. Next Sunday, we're going to have a congregational chat. We're going to, whoever would like to be here in person, we're going to work it out on Zoom also. We might be outside if it's, Santa Barbara, be outside, right? But we're going to talk about kind of the updates of since I've been here and the various changes and shifts and just letting you all know the sort of ground from which we're creating here at Unity of Santa Barbara now. So that's next Sunday right after service. And to let you know, the Christmas Eve service and the New Year's Eve service are both on Thursday nights, and it'll be at 5 o'clock, and it'll be here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. If you want to buy a poinsettia, and I know some people say poinsettia, but I'm from Texas and we say poinsettia. I don't know. We just leave some letters out. But if you want to donate to the poinsettia foundation, whatever this is, then we buy poinsettias, and you are welcome to be part of that. And then you can make a dedication as you give to that, to the poinsettia group there. I want to thank Catherine Davis again for these beautiful flowers. She does this every week, and I don't know if she's here, but talk about giving from your creativity. She is not letting drama block her from her flower creation, for heaven's sakes. And so the Blessing Registry, just jumping into that, is what you all do every November, and it's a beautiful time to reflect on what it is that makes this Unity of Santa Barbara operate. But more than that, what's really touched your life, and where have you received from this ministry? And I'm just very grateful to bring up a friend of mine that, it was really the board and the search team that were the first people I met when I started looking at Unity of Santa Barbara. And Allison is just one of the most open-minded, heart-centered folks, and has showed up at Unity for 30 years. And not only is she just such a font of light and love, I really so appreciate her encouragement to say, Heidi, just come on out here. It's all going to work out. I know it's COVID. Don't worry about it. Come on. So it's been really so much Allison's belief in this center, in this place, that has certainly drawn me to it, but has been really, as the president of the board, she is here for all y'all, and I can say that because I'm from Texas, but I really love Allison Jansen so much. Listen to me, Allison so much, and the Jordan, and I want her to share her experience with Unity. So let's give Allison a hand.
It's nice to see all of your faces here. I have had so much happen to me since I've been at Unity. I came here with my grandfather when I was 23 years old, and I can't even tell you, I just don't even know what my life, I'm not even going to think about what my life would have been without Unity. I'm so incredibly grateful. I have grown so much and been on this amazing spiritual journey, and certainly stepping into leadership and being more active, I would say, in the last 5-6 years here. I've just transformed, I really have, and I'm so inspired to give and to be in service. It makes me be all the things that, Reverend Heidi's talking about. I feel like I get those things now. It took me a long time, but I live and practice the teachings of Unity. And one of the biggest in-service things that I did here to give to Unity was the courtyard. And most of you know the story of the courtyard, and it was 3 years of blood, sweat, and tears. And last Sunday, I was sitting about it right there, and it was, beautiful, and it started sprinkling, and the sun was shining through, and I looked out at the courtyard, and I think there was some beautiful music going on or something, and literally, I got tears in my eyes. And that was the power to me of giving, of service to here, and I thought about, why does it matter so much to me? And it's like giving back to what I've been given, and it's just a circle. It just keeps growing and growing. And I thought about, well, certainly I give so much time. I also have given donations. And when I think about what matters to me the most is this like incredible, full, rich life that I have, that I feel that I've been given because I give. And so I know we hear about that in Unity, and there's so many blessings, and I think I'm a good example of that. I also happen to be the president of the board, so not only with the Courtyard Project, but going through COVID and without a senior minister being the president of the board, it was, pushed me. And I think giving of my talent and treasure is just, it opens up so much richness. It continues my spiritual path and my growth, and I'm really incredibly grateful for it. And I feel that when I give through the Blessings Registry or however I give, I'm just really, really grateful for Unity and what it brings to me and into my life. And so we have this opportunity this month. It's our annual fundraiser. It's our only fundraiser this year because the other ones we weren't able to have. So this is our time for looking into our hearts and just, take a look. We'll be at the table, Anne and I. There's a wonderful access to the Blessings Registry online. If you're not here and you want to take a look online, I encourage you to do that. And just think about what speaks to you and why it's important for you and what gives you motivation to give to Unity. Thank you.
Oh, more. Okay. And thank you to Barbara Berger, for the flowers. There she is. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, thank you, Allison. I'm so glad you're president. I agree with everything that Heidi says. And thank you to the rest of those who helped this service come about today, our AV people, and Noreen and Jacqueline again. We are so fortunate to have all of you participating. And so now let us stand and join in the prayer of protection.
How about the peace song?
Yeah, peace song first, of course. Where would I be without you? And now the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is here, and all is well. Amen. Amen.